It seems foolish to deny that incredible things constantly happen in our world. Some people encounter them often, some rarely, and some only once. Those who have never experienced anything like this probably dismiss such stories or scoff and roll their eyes. But that's a mistake. I've had a few encounters with unexplainable events myself, and I know how some people react negatively to stories about strange occurrences. Still, I want to share one mysterious incident that happened to me on a late-night highway. It was the early winter of 1986, and I was a junior at the State Polytechnic Institute. Back then, students were often sent to help out with local farms for a few weeks, in a program that mixed volunteer work with required service. That fall, a group of us was sent to a small farming town about 50 miles from the city to help harvest potatoes, carrots, beets, and cabbage. In our large group, the gender imbalance was painfully obvious. Dozens of young men and only 3 girls, and even they were from a particularly shy category. But youth needs not only study and work, but also feelings, excitement, and romance. I got lucky and met a pretty local girl. We had a whirlwind student farm romance that lasted a while. After the harvest ended, we continued seeing each other for several months. On weekends, she would come to the city to visit me, or I would go to her town. One evening, on my late return from the village, something incredible happened. Lovers, as you know, lose track of time. I got so caught up that I stayed longer than usual. When I realized it, the last suburban bus had already left, and I had to find another way back. I could have stayed overnight, a tempting option, but I had to be at the institute early in the morning. So I decided to hitchhike back to the city, keeping the overnight stay as a last resort. An hour passed, and the cold winter night had fully descended, but I still couldn't catch a ride. I was freezing and about to head back to the village to my sweetheart when finally a flatbed truck pulled over. "Where are you headed?" asked the driver, an older man. "To the city," I replied. "I'll take you to the bus depot. You can figure it out from there," he agreed. Grateful, I climbed into the warm cabin. We exchanged a few small talk phrases, then fell silent, each lost in our own thoughts. I thought about the girl, about her warm embrace. The driver seemed tired after a full day on the road. He fiddled with the radio, found nothing interesting, and turned it off, slowing the truck. Then, a red warning light on the dashboard blinked. The engine coolant temperature. We stopped, and the driver climbed out, lifted the hood, opened the radiator cap, and a cloud of steam erupted. Muttering under his breath, he poured water from a canister. We stood there for a moment, smoked a quick cigarette, then continued on our way. This is an important moment in the story, so skeptics can't claim that we both imagined what happened next. We moved at a slow pace, about 30 miles. The night was pitch black, illuminated only by the truck's headlights, which cast diffuse yellow semicircles into the darkness, gradually fading into infinity. I watched the pale light from the beams illuminate mile markers and road signs. The road was deserted, no other vehicles, neither oncoming nor passing. And then, far ahead on the road, right in the headlights, I saw a dark human figure. The shape grew larger, standing directly in our lane. I glanced at the driver. His face was focused, eyes wide open. He was awake. The figure, clearly a woman, an elderly lady, faced us. She wore a dark coat, with a light scarf or shawl over her head. About 30 feet away, she stood still, and the truck did not slow down or swerve. I fidgeted, wanted to shout stop, but my voice vanished. The old woman, level with the bumper, simply disappeared. No sound of impact, and the driver made no attempt to steer around her. The truck moved straight ahead, unchanged. Shock gripped me. Cold sweat broke out. Goosebumps ran down my spine. I froze, not knowing what to do. The driver looked at me calmly and said, "You saw it too, didn't you?" I nodded. He slowed down, pulled over onto the shoulder, and said, "Don't worry, we didn't hit anyone." Then, after a pause, he began explaining. 2 months ago, there was an accident here with casualties. Among them was this elderly woman. That's the ghost you just saw. This is the 3rd time I've witnessed it. I hadn't told anyone before. Now you've seen it for yourself. Hand me the flashlight from the glove compartment. I took the flashlight, turned it on, shined it on the bumper. No marks of impact. Looked under the truck. No one there. The driver smiled. "See? Now hand me the flashlight." I did, and he slowly scanned the roadside with the beam, revealing mourning wreaths attached to trees. Everything confirmed it. The old woman was indeed a ghost. We continued driving in silence, lost in thought. We reached the city without incident. As we said goodbye, he said, "You're young, so keep quiet about what you saw. Better for your own good." I heeded his advice and kept the story to myself for years. Only after the collapse of the Soviet Union, when media started discussing the paranormal openly, did I share the tale of that night on the road. Many laughed, doubting the truth. With the passing years, looking back, I understand. Our world is full of phenomena that science hasn't explained yet. What once seemed supernatural may one day become a normal part of life. Ghosts and paranormal events will find their explanations, and in the future, children may even study them in school. Fear and doubt will be replaced by knowledge and understanding.